Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you had a nice 4th of July holiday. The next holiday comes in at the end of August. So now it is back to business as usual, and let us get back to the charts. So we will start from the monthly chart again. If you look at it, we were thinking what will happen here, and then we actually right now have a micro gap on the monthly chart right here. So this will again work as a kind of support for us. So this is the 2-1 to the 3-4 area kind of, and then we have our major support at the 19.25 level. We tried so many times, we could not break through it, and then even on a half day, we created a new high, right? We created a new all-time high on a half day on Wednesday. So the market is bullish. There is nothing bearish about it. Looking at this right now, this 5707 is very much possible for this monthly bar to go and hit, and then we will see what happens to the chart, right? Looking at the wedges, we have broken out of the wedge. And then there comes another wedge breakout measured move. If we just say that we are breaking out of the wedge right here, 5985 may be a target for the bulls on the upside based on this wedge breakout. So that actually touches the 6000 level, which the market is thinking that it may go and touch. But then again, it is 200 points away. We will think about it once we cross about 5800, 5700, all those levels, and then we will think about whether we are going to get to that 5985. But based on this current breakout, that may be a very good profit taking point for the bulls here. We do have a breakout on the weekly chart as well. And if you see here, this is the kind of support that we have right now, which is between 8.5 and 8.8. That should not break down on the weekly chart. If we break down to the weekly chart, we'll have to look at the daily chart. What are the different other support areas that we have on daily? However, I am thinking that they will not be able to break this down. And as we keep going above, this 5640 now seems to be a very achievable target on the weekly level. We will have to see where this week ends, where we end on Friday. Now, tomorrow being the last day of the week after 2 days of holidays, there may be very less liquidity in the market. So that is something that we have to take care of. We'll have to see how the market is moving, if is there volume right from the morning, and if it is crossing above the 5590 level and trying to get to the high again, which is 5598, crosses above 5600. We know that on a lower time frame we have a 5607 profit target for the bulls. However, on the weekly chart, if we are closing above 5600, we'll have to see how it closes tomorrow, and then we will see that if there is still a possibility to get to this 5640 level, the 5607 level, and then if we are trying to get further up. On the weekly chart, again, there is a gap right here. So if you see, we have created a nice body gap here. And this body gap again may act as an area of support at the top, which again comes down to the 5519 level. So that has been a strong level of support for many days now. We have tried to break it down unsuccessfully. So on the weekly chart, if you see, this wedge is also matching with the 5640 area, and that becomes a very good area for the bulls to try and get profit at this level, right? And then we will see where the market moves. So on the weekly chart, as long as this 5585 is not broken down, the bulls, I think, are safe. And if they break it down, they may come down to the 5560 level, which was the prior breakout, or the 5567 level, which was the prior all-time high. They may come to those levels, bounce again, and start going back up. So those levels we will find out again on the lower time frame charts as we go to the daily and the 4 hour subsequently. There is one more possibility on the weekly chart, that if this was the pullback on the weekly and we keep going up, and the bulls want to get a 1:1 of this level based on this breakout, they may actually try to get to this 5659.75 level as well, right? But first we will look for the 5640 on the weekly chart, and then we will see if we are going above to get this 5659. Let us quickly look at the ATR of the weekly chart. This is the 4-week ATR, and it is 100 points. So from here, if we at 5590, getting to 5690 becomes very easy, right? In the next week, if we continue to move in this 100-point fashion and we keep up this ATR. So based on the ATR, 5690 may be another target that the bulls may be targeting. So all these levels are just saying that there is no bearishness in the market at this point. There may be a couple of red days, but still the market will keep on going. If there are red days, we will find that out on the lower time frames and see how the market is moving. Now let us take a look at the daily chart. So if we see that we were moving sideways in this area for more than a week, and then finally we have broken out of this area. So this 5585 line will become very important. If that 5585 line breaks down on the daily chart, we may actually come down to the 5569 to 66 level, bounce from here again. 58 will be another very good area of support. If we come down here, bounce at the 5558 level, and then go and stop above this area again, we will see that if we can cross above 5585. However, we will have to see that the price is going above 5600 and holding that level in order to see that if we can get to that 5607 to that 5640, all those levels that we saw on the higher time frames. On the downside, if this 5552 level breaks down, we may again come back to this 5340 area. That will be another level of support. It is better that I put a line there so that I don't miss that out. And below the 5540 level, we know we will come to the 5531. We can come down to the 5525 to 1 level again. And then we have our famous line 5519 below that. We will see that if it comes down there, what happens. So we have just broken out of this. We will have to see that the price is holding here in this area and trying to move up. And if it breaks down 5585, we will target to get to this 5569 level. Now, if again that is broken down, we'll see if it comes to the 5558, breaks down the 5550 level, and then we will see that where the market can go on the downside. But I doubt that the market is going to dump from here. I think it is trying to get another leg based on this breakout that we are getting. So on the upside, if we are trying to touch this top of the channel tomorrow, we may even go to this 5632 level, and we already know that on the weekly chart we do have a 5640 level as our target. So then we will have to see that if it goes to 5640 and it is dumping down from there. Given that this was a big bar, this was not a mother bar per se, because this was not an inside bar to this bar. However, if we take again based on the same weekly concept that we saw, that if we take that we are breaking out of here and we want to do a 1:1, 5660 may be a very good target on the daily chart. Now again, our first target, as we said earlier, will be 5640, and breaking that, we will try to see if we get to this 5660. It may not happen immediately tomorrow, but next week again we have CPI data, so we will have to see how the market moves around till Thursday, and then where the market is trying to go, if it is breaking out and trying to reach the upper levels here that we saw on the higher time frames. Let us now look at the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour chart, we knew that this was our area of resistance, and we have come above that. We have a body gap created right here. So if you want to look at the body gap, this is the body gap that is still existing on the 4-hour chart, and this is providing a very good level of support. Again, this is the 5585 area. Now we have to see that the 5585 area does not break down, right? And if it breaks down, we may again come down to the 5579 area based on this 4-hour charts 1:1. We may come down there, bounce from there again, and we keep on going up. If we break down this 5579, we may come down to this 5574 area. If you see, there will be a little bit of support at this point as well, based on the breakout of the wick of this candle, the previous candle. And then below that, we may have support in this area. So this was the bull flag that got created. And again, if you see, it is from the 5566 to the 59 area. Below that, we may again come down to the 5547 area, and then it may actually bring it down to 5535. Again, that will be a very good area of support. We have a double top here on the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart may actually want to come down and retest this double top breakout as well. So that will be another level of support at the 28 to the 26 area. And below that, we will see whether we come back to this balance zone again. Based on whatever we have now, if you are having a pullback, price may actually try to come to the midpoint of this level, which happens to be 5680. So these are the different levels on the 4-hour chart that we need to keep an eye on. We will have to see what happens overnight, how the Asia session and the London session treats the price, and then we will see what are the different possibilities for the price to go up or keep coming down. Given whatever we have here, I do not think that they will break down this 5574 area. This breakout will now act as a very good area of support. And even if the price wants to retrace back, they will come here, they will bounce back again and try to get another high. However, we need to keep in mind that this was the first leg. We had the second leg, and if we keep going up, this will be the third leg. So we have this kind of a wedge that is getting created. We will have to keep that wedge in mind. If you want to be a little bit conservative, you can bring it down here, and then at some point of time go and hit this wedge line on the top. Along with that, we also have this channel line. If you see, this is a very tight channel that we are in the 4-hour chart. However, we are pulling back, we are out of the channel, but this looks like it wants to go and touch this area again. This 5614 again may be a very good point where the bulls will try to take profits. So I will keep this area marked just to see what is happening when price comes to this level, if it is getting above this level or it is getting rejected. But then if we stay above the 5607 at that point of time, it is highly possible that we get to that 5632, 5640 levels, and then we will see where the price wants to go. Again, if I see that this was my first leg, let me put it in a different color. If I say this was my first leg and I measured it, my second leg target was somewhere here, but we started creating higher lows here at this point. So again, the 5623 may be another line where price may want to go, and above that, if we want to go above 5623 again from here, then we will get to that 5660 level on the 4-hour chart. And that is how we will get the measured moves on the 4-hour chart. Again, on the 4-hour chart, we do have these lines as well, which you can extend at this point of time and see where price wants to take us. So we had this first touch here, the second touch here, the third touch here. If we break above these areas, this is the line on the 4-hour chart that the price may want to come and test. So it is better at this point that you extend this line to the right and keep it ready there, so that if you see that the price is coming and touching this line, you can either take profit or see if there is any movement to the downside, and if you can enter a short trade at that point of time. The other trend line that we have, the other major trend line that we have on the 4-hour chart is this one. So as long as this trend line is not broken down, I do not think bears will be in a very good position to bring the market down. It can pull back, but bringing the market actually down, starting a bearish move may become very difficult. So if we see based on this move that we had up, if we see that this was one leg on some higher time frame, we have actually done 1:1 of this move here. So on the 4-hour chart, if this was a trading range that we had broken out of that, and we have done a 1:1 of that trading range. Now, if we want to keep moving up and get another level of the same size, we were looking at this 5737 line on the higher time frame, but that is again pretty far away. We will think about it when we are above the 5680, 5690 levels. At that point of time, we will see that if we can come and touch this 5737 area. But based on this TR move, again, this 5560 level will be a very good support for the bulls on the 4-hour chart as well. One more possibility on the 4-hour chart is that we had this downward channel, right? And if we are duplicating the channel on the top, we are above the 50% line of it. So there is a big possibility that will come and hit ththese levels at the 561214 levels. And that will be again at the top of this bearish channel that we have. We may come and hit this, and then it may pull back a little bit. And if we break out of here, we may try and see if we are trying to get to somewhere around 4645, which happens to be the 50% line of this channel on the top. And then we will see whether we are going above that and trying to hit this line on the top again. Now, this is the 1-hour chart, and if you see that we are trying to create a balance zone here, we may actually pull back a little bit down based on this candle, and this is a similar structure that we saw on the 4-hour chart as well. And based on that, we are seeing that we may actually come down to this 5577 level again on the 4-hour chart. That was around 5573. Even if we come back there, there is a big possibility that we'll get back above this channel line. Again, this channel line also, the midpoint of this channel line may also act as an area of support, and if we keep coming down there, that may work as an area of support, and then it will push back the market up to get to these lines again on the top. However, we need to remember that we have this first leg, we had this balance zone, there's the second leg, there's the balance zone again created. Now we are back at the bottom of the balance zone. This area needs to hold, the 5587 to 85 area again needs to hold. We will have to see what happens overnight, where the Asia session and the London session brings the price down or up, and then again we will meet tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m. EST to find out what are the possible moves. Now we are back to the final piece of the puzzle. If you look here, this is the RTH 5-minute chart. What I'm expecting that this 5585 to this 5583 area should hold. If this tries to break down, we may come down to this 5580 area, failing which this is the other balance zone that we had at the 5576 level. And below that, this may be another good line of support at 5572. And if 5572 breaks down, this is the other support that we have. I'll bring it down a little bit more because this was the area where the news bar happened last week, and that is between 69 and 66. If we give that up, then this was the next breakout area that we had, which is at 5561, and below 5561 again we come back to this balance zone, which is the 60 to the 54 area, and below that the next balance zone comes at 48 to 43 area, and below that we have support again at the 33 to 30. If we break this, we will have some kind of support on this line as well, which is the 269, and below that again we may come down to that 19 level, to the 14 level, and farther down, right? And on the upside, this is the sell zone at this point of time, so we will have to be careful here also, that if price does not want to go above this area, then what happens, we'll have to keep that condition in mind as well, right? Because this may be the high that they were trying to get, and tomorrow itself might be a bearish day, and might want to bring the market down to 5572. However, I will keep this area also as a point of support, because that was the last breakout area that we had. This is between 5589 and 5587. So on the 5-minute chart on the RTH, that will be another area of support that we may have. So tomorrow we will have to see where the market opens up, in what condition the market opened up. Did we have a 3 push down wedge on the ETA chart, and now we are trying to come back up and reclaim our broken supports that we had? That is the point of time, and look out to go long again and try to reach the upper areas on the top. So again, we will come back tomorrow morning based on whatever analysis we have right now. We will meet at 8:45 a.m. EST over Google Meet. If you want to be in that meeting, the link to that is given in the description below. Along with that, you will also have the description to the Facebook page and the free Discord server. You are very welcome to join there. And as always, please like, share, and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the notification icon. And I'll see you guys again at 8:45 a.m. EST in the morning. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.